Top stories tonight. Terrorists killed dozens in Yobe State as government buries 34 in Tarmua. Crisis brews between PDP's Governors Forum and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike as party's National Working Committee meets on Wednesday. Federal government denies ordering hike in price of petrol. And 129 dead, many injured in DR Congo jailbreak attempt. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Let's begin by telling you that there was a horrifying attack by terrorists and it has left dozens dead and numerous homes in ruins in the towns of Mafa in Yobe State, Nigeria's northeast on Sunday. The assault, which lasted several hours, has been condemned by residents and raised urgent calls for increased security measures. News Center's Umaru Kirawa reports that officials of Yobe State government, led by the Deputy Governor, has conducted funeral prayers for 34 victims of the attack in Tarmua as search for more corpses is said to be ongoing. The Deputy Governor, who sympathizes with the victims, said the government will work closely with the federal government to provide military formation in the area to forestall further occurrence.
We are here to attend the funeral prayers of our people from Mafa village who were massacred by the Boko Haram the day before yesterday. And we have prayed for 34 souls, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them into Al-Jannah Firdaus. Jesus has directed SEMA should come and provide a temporary shelter for them and all the basic needs of human beings. You know, the military have devastated them seriously. They have the capacity to attack major towns, so they are now bent on small targets, sub-targets where the people have been not able to defend themselves, and they take the advantage and kill them just to show to the world that they are still existing. After all, they are being delegated to the background, and inshallah.
Let's go now to politics. A crisis is brewing between the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum and Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT, as the party's National Working Committee meets on Wednesday. The conflict between Wike and Governor Siminalayi Fubara has caused a split in the Yobe State House of Assembly and led to legal disputes. Despite mediation efforts by President Bola Tinubu and others, the feud persists. Wike has threatened to take action in PDP-controlled states, prompting a meeting of the governors to address the issue. The NWC meeting on Wednesday will likely address the situation, but the outcome is uncertain. In the meantime, Yobe State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has advised partisan police officers to stop taking sides in the crisis rocking the state. The governor said police officers who abandoned their core professional responsibilities to pursue vested political interests were creating enmity that could eventually hurt them. Fubara maintained that police officers were trained as professionals to protect lives and property while contributing to the desired peace in the state. The governor insisted that it was an aberration for any of them to think that protecting any particular individual or being one-sided in the political affairs to the detriment of the state amounted to professionalism. The coalition of civil society organizations in Edo State has tasked political parties participating in the upcoming governorship election in the state to shun the use of hate rhetoric and comments capable of instigating violence during the poll. The group expressed concerns over alleged attacks on voter card collection centers in the state, saying that the incidents are being instigated by verbal attacks during campaigns of political parties. They urged parties and their candidates to stick to issue-based campaigns and called their supporters to order.
We have noted that instead of political parties to go about their campaigns and selling their manifestos to the people for informed decision on election day, they have imbibed a sad tradition of the use of vile and vile words against party candidates. They are expected to strictly stick to issues and ideological-based engagement that will better the lot of the people. Verbal attacks must be discouraged as it is capable of breeding bloody violence and internal hate among supporters. Instead, we encourage that manifestos must be compulsorily documented. I repeat, we'll insist that manifestos must be compulsorily documented and freely made available.
Northern Nigerian governors have announced a unified strategy to combat the crisis of flooding and insecurity that are jeopardizing the region's food supply. Chairman of the Northern States Governors Forum, who is also the governor of Yobe State, Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, made the announcement. News Center's Umaru Kirawa completes the report.
This is the situation in Nigeria's border town of Damasak in Borno State. The recent floods have not only displaced communities, but also disrupted agricultural activities critical to the region's economy.
Professor Babagana Umara's magnanimity, he directed that we should, as a matter of urgency, before the flood will get out of hand, we should quickly ensure that we have embarked the whole of Damasak town and all the farmlands that are around the accessible locations. And you can see we are making giant strides.
While efforts are being put in place by the local government to dredge some of the areas, the problem seems to be bigger than what it has been done to tackle it. This is one side of the story. The other side that is equally quite worrying is the security challenge in Yobe State and other parts of the northeast. A group of experts under the auspices of the coalition of northern groups have put forth a comprehensive report on the situation and the way forward.
If any segment of our community is working out of sync with others, then this problem will never be overcome.
The group presented an action plan for the northern states governors towards tackling the growing impact of insecurity on the livelihoods of millions of Nigerians.
The president is the listening president and is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He cannot afford to leave 3/4 of the landmass, 55% of the population, and the high level of human and material resource that God has endowed with us to waste away. We'll push and ensure that we get the needful done, and that at the end of the day, we restore normalcy, and that our people are taken back to their normal lives.
With food security increasingly threatened by both natural disasters and ongoing violence, the chairman of the Northern States Governors committed to a joint action plan focusing on improving security measures, flood relief efforts, and agricultural support. In Gombe for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Many thanks, Umaru. Let's go now to developments with the lingering fuel scarcity. The situation seems to be taking a new turn as some fuel stations have now halted the sale of petrol. With rumors of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited increasing the pump price per litre, many fuel stations appear to be preparing for a change, which has now left Nigerians at an even more desperate situation. Our correspondent, Bernard Akede, has been following the development and filed in this report.
The situation is indeed getting worse. More and more people are beginning to spend longer hours, including entire nights, queuing up in front of fuel stations. Initially, the queue will be longer where you have the prices of petrol cheaper per litre, but now people are willing to queue. All they need is hope that the fuel station will begin to sell, even if, as you can see beside me, the fuel station is not selling at the moment. This queue at a fuel station in Gbagada, Lagos, stretches for over 2 kilometers. Some motorists say they had to spend the night here hoping to buy petrol.
I've been here since yesterday night, 10 p.m. Up to now, I've not gotten the fuel.
It affected me well because I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel now to Abuja now. I've been here since yesterday now. I have never seen fuel buy now. I'm sitting on the queue now.
Been here since 6 o'clock, looking for a fuel. From that 16 now, I can't be able to get fuel. And in my working place now is lie down. There's nobody there. There's nobody there now. Customers will be calling me.
Interestingly, the fuel station didn't sell a drop of petrol for almost 2 hours while monitoring the situation. The hopeful motorists say the attendants made mention of a possible price increase early in the day, after which they stopped selling.
Unfortunately, we are hearing that they have changed the price of the fuel. In Northwest, we don't know how much they want to place their own. But however, we heard that NNPC are selling for $8.50.
And how much was NNPC selling for before?
NNPC was selling for $5.68, and why Northwest is selling for $6.20.
Okay, now fuel won't increase. How will it be about foodstuff? How much they want to sell food now for Nigeria? They suffer the poor masses. Why? Why is do you have government now? We get government now like this. We get government.
8:55.
While News Central's news crew was out filming this report, there were unconfirmed rumors of a possible price increase by the NNPC Limited, a move that many say will further inflict more hardship on the people.
Masses are suffering. Look at now, fuel, we have oil, you have cocoa in our land. How can a city be suffering in one's fatherland? So out of frustration can make a lot of people to do many things that will be against the law.
As this lingering fuel scarcity continues into its 8th week, Nigerians can only hope and pray that whatever situation or whatever issues the NNPCL and the federal government are having, it be resolved as soon as possible so that the suffering of the people can begin to reduce. In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akede.
Let's also tell you that some petrol stations around the Wuse and Maitama areas of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have suspended the sale of petrol, making motorists already on the fuel queues stranded and agitated. This is as the news of the pump price increase of petrol started making the rounds. Respondents who spoke to News Central described the incident as unfortunate, saying government must answer questions raised by citizens. My colleague Emmanuel Bagudu tells us more.
Stranded and frustrated, these residents of the Federal Capital Territory say that their daily survival is tied to the availability of petrol. Some of them say that they left their homes early enough to join the fuel queue, but that was not enough guarantee to get fuel as the queues stopped moving, and the station told them that the sales of PMS has been suspended till further notice.
What is time now? I'm in the village. I never carry one trip. I never carry anybody. I've been here since 5 o'clock. I joined the queue up from there. The reason why my car is somewhere here is because people are tired and they are leaving the queue. So the more they are leaving is moving. When I came in the morning, they actually opened the filling station and they started selling fuel.
What time?
That was around some minutes after 7. So, and we're hoping that we are going to all get fuel and get back to our daily activities. Unfortunately, we stood and we discovered that the queue is no longer moving. So some of us came out to come and find out what is happening, only for us to hear that they asked them to stop selling.
Nigerians are suffering. As I'm passing here now, I'm thinking how I'm going to buy fuel. I was just driving and see if I can beg someone to allow me to enter line. But I don't think anybody will allow you because the line is so long.
These people now, all those filling stations, that these people, they drop fuel this morning. They discharge this morning. And they want to sell it in the higher price. Why they know they're supposed to sell this one, when they bring another one, you understand me, they hide their price. But they believe that this is an opportunity for them to make money. And it's not good.
As expected, the situation elicited negative reactions from the citizens who say government must answer questions from citizens that need answers.
This information is going to Mr. President or the people in charge. But maybe people will come out to protest to tell the Nigerians, the leaders, their mind, what they are going through. They will just hear and put deaf ears to it. They don't do anything about it.
We have crude in Nigeria. We are exporting to refine and bring back. And our president is an experienced man. We thought that when he comes in, he will change things within 1 year. But we're surprised things are like this. We don't understand what is actually happening. Is it because they cannot import or we cannot even refine with Dangote refinery on stream? It's painful. let the government do something about it. Because when you punish people, you yourself will pay a price when the time comes.
For now, this fuel queue remains static, and for how long, only time will tell. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has demanded the immediate reversal of the hike in fuel price announced by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, saying the hike has worsened the misery of Nigerians. Amid the lingering fuel scarcity in the country, the NNPCL increased the pump price of petrol from 568 naira to 855 and 897, depending on the location per litre. Condemning the move in a statement, NLC President Joe Ajero accused the federal government of betraying labor movement. He recalled how President Bola Tinubu gave labor leaders the option of choosing from 250,000 naira as the new minimum wage in exchange for petrol price at 1,500, and said they rejected the offer due to the impact it would have on Nigerians. Staying with that story, the Nigerian government has dismissed reports suggesting that the Ministry of Petroleum has directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to sell fuel at 1,000 naira, far above the approved pump price. The false report claimed that the Minister of State for Oil and Gas, Heineken Lokobiri, gave the directive. In a statement on Tuesday, Lokobiri's aide, Namaka Okafor, condemned the report as fabricated and aimed at causing confusion in the oil sector. Okafor clarified that the government has never interfered with petroleum pricing or directed a price increase. She called the claims baseless and malicious and challenged anyone with evidence to come forward. Okafor emphasized that NNPCL operates independently, governed by its board of directors under the Companies and Allied Matters Act. To discuss this, we're joined by an oil and gas expert, George Brown. George, thank you for joining us. Considering what we currently know about the financial challenges before the NNPCL, was the statement by the minister necessary about the fuel price hike? I mean, some people have bought as far as 900 even before now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can. Did you get my question? Yeah. Please go ahead with your response if you did.
Yes. Yes. Good evening, and thank you for having me. Good evening, viewers. It's rather unfortunate that we're finding ourselves in the country in such a situation again. We've said it for the umpteenth time that the country has no reason to rely on her energy needs via the means of importation of refined products. The refineries in the country that are state-owned have not been functional for over a decade, yet you keep people there, you pay them salaries, you promote them, you send them on courses abroad and locally, you build their capacity for doing nothing, and above all, they're even hiring fresh people. So I wonder what kind of business template is that rewards zero productivity. However, we now have the Dangote refinery that has come upstream. And the NNPCL has come up to say that because they are the sole importer of PMS, while other products are deregulated, that they will also insist and continue to be the sole buyer of PMS from Dangote's refinery, while dealers, depots, and distributors will have to buy from them. So talking about a monopoly, that's what NNPC is trying to become, even in a privately owned refinery that they have a stake. Yes, we know they have a stake, but is the stake that they have gives them the leeway to be the sole. I mean, the product, the pricing to achieve. And I think the NNPC business model is obsolete, is not in sync with the requirements of the day, and it's not realistic. So the NNPC should revisit it. If we want to deregulate, there should be complete and total deregulation, not what we have discovered to see and we're experiencing as partial deregulation. Our energy security is paramount because our energy security relies, affects every aspect of our daily lives as citizens of this country.
George,
the spiraling effect, yes.
What should Nigerians brace up for? Because if the NNPCL is selling at over 800, there's every likelihood that independent marketers might begin to sell as far as 1,015. What should Nigerians be expecting? Do you expect further rise in prices?
Okay, let me inform Nigerians. In the city of Port Harcourt today, the NNPC mega fueling station was selling at 855, while independent marketers were selling for 1,300, and black marketers are selling for between 1,500 and 1,800. In a place like Bonny Island, which I know a lot of Nigerians should know about, is a 1-hour boat ride from Port Harcourt. Bonny Island buys the PMS for 2,200 naira a liter. 2,200 naira for the liter of PMS. So Nigerians should brace up. It's going to be a very long road, but it's not rocket science. We'll continue to say this. It's not rocket science. The crude oil is present here in the country. Yes, we know that there are a lot of back and forth and a lot of contractual issues surrounding the percentage share or stake of the NNPCL in the JV with the IOCs and other local and marginal producers in the country. And they have, sold some of these products in advance, and the country is still taking loans even after selling these products in advance. And if we begin to interrogate
Okay, the network is affecting the audio from George's end. George, if you can hear me, I'm going to just put out this question in the hope that by the time the network comes up, you will be able to pick it up. I wanted to talk about the NLC putting out a statement expressing they feel betrayed by the price hike, and they are demanding an immediate reversal as per terms for the new minimum wage agreement for 70,000 naira. We also hear there is a meeting in the coming days to make a decision on how to move forward. What likely action do you foresee from the NLC, and will it at this point have any impact considering the expressed fatigue as to the leadership being provided for the Nigerian workers by the NLC?
Okay, the NLC made us to know that they were offered 250,000 minimum wage with a PMS price of 1,500 per liter, and they turned it down. So it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. You give with the right hand and you take it back with the left hand. But they went for the 70,000, believing that the price of the PMS will not exceed 650 at the independent marketers' pump price, while the NNPCL mega filling stations will be selling at between 500 and 555, right? But you can now see that the government has backtracked on that, and even the NNPC is today selling at 855 in the city of Port Harcourt. They are selling at 855. While the independent marketers that form the bulk of the distribution network, they own over 80% to 85% of all the filling stations in this country. All the petrol stations in this country, gas stations in this country are owned by the Independent Marketers Association, members of that association. And they are selling at much higher margins at prices because of the marginal costs that they have and expenses that they run in getting the products from the depot. So we're in a very, very terrible situation. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. We don't know what will be the outcome of this. Of course, the concomitant and resultant effect of this increase in the price of PMS is that it's going to affect everything along the value chain that has to do with logistics, that has to do with transportation. It will affect the price of food, and it will affect the price of every other thing. And the situation in the country is worse already. And imagine us going into this. So what was the outcome of the End Bad Governance struggle?
Judge, that is a question everyone is concerned about as well, especially with the prosecution of some of those who participated in the End Bad Governance protest. I guess we'll know what happens in the coming days. Hopefully there'll be some reaction from the president, who is currently outside our shores. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, after the break, we'll be telling you about an elevation in the bilateral ties between Nigeria and China. Stay with us. President Bola Tinubu and Chinese President Xi Jinping on Tuesday in Beijing announced the elevation of Nigeria-China ties to that of a comprehensive strategic partnership. The leaders also agreed to build a high-level Nigeria-China community with a shared future. This was the outcome of the talks between the two leaders during President Tinubu's official visits to China. President Tinubu's official visit precedes his participation in the 2024 summit of the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation, scheduled to hold from September 4 to 6, 2024. On economic reforms in Nigeria, President Tinubu told his Chinese counterpart that his administration remains committed to sustainable growth through the effective implementation of ongoing economic reforms.
You have upgraded the relationship to more than what is just strategic. A comprehensive developmental program. I agree with you. The strategic partnership should result in our regional development goals. Peace, stability, security in West Africa is very, very crucial. Nigeria remains committed to our economic development, forthright, non-aligned, and we are on the path to economic reforms that will agenda growth. We believe that you have reformed the Chinese economy, and our program too is on that course. I am a reformer. We have recognized the need to reform our economic program, and we're doing so. We have tax reform, tariff reviews.
Away from that, anti-corruption experts have called on Nigeria's federal government to strengthen the capacity of anti-graft institutions so as to boost the war against corruption. This was during a stakeholders forum organized by the Center for Fiscal Responsibility. Amadine Uyi reports. All right, we'll bring you the report subsequently. But for now, let's tell you that educational activities were disrupted at the Yobe State Polytechnic Yola as students barricaded the entrance to the school, stopping lecturers and others from gaining access due to a lack of water. The students say this was caused by prolonged power outages, which is also hindering their ability to carry out basic daily activities. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, tells us more.
The demonstration, which was led by the Polytechnic hostel residents, was sparked by a 2-week power outage, which severely impacted the availability of water on campus. The protesting students expressed frustration and how difficult it was to endure searching for water outside the school premises for the last 2 weeks.
We don't have electricity for the past 2 weeks, which has caused a great effect in water supply for us. Students leave the campus here to Target Junction to go and fetch water for the past 2 weeks, and this can cause accident which a student can lose his life. As members or as students of this community, we don't want to lose a life because we love each other so much.
Highlighting the several challenges that they face, they urged the school authorities to immediately resolve the situation.
Our hostels are bad, our toilets are bad, so if we are sick, how can we study? It's only a healthy man that can have the ability or strength to read. We don't have good amenities that will promote our health being in the school. This is one of our factors again.
Responding to the plight of the protesting students, the school authority revealed that the outage was due to the debts owed to the Yola Electricity Distribution Company by the school management.
I told them that please they should give us a time so that we should pay them half. They say no, they will not pay half. Before we should realize, they send notice for cutting of the power. And as we were just sitting in the office, the register was even there, we saw there is no light. We thought it is the normal thing when light will go off and come back.
The rector revealed that the debt has already been cleared and water restored to the institution.
But for today, I said register they should find check so that they write the check, go and withdraw the money and the reconnection fee. They said it is 50,000, so we paid the reconnection fee. Unfortunately, Her Excellency also called me, the Deputy Governor. I said this is what is happening. I said yes, and we are on course. The Chief of Staff also called me. So they were calling me from every 5 minutes. I said, yes, we are on course. And she also called the manager, the Yola Electric Development Company. I said, that is what is happening. So after confirmation, they took the money to them. Then they came and reconnect the money, power.
The Polytechnic management also assured students and the academic community that it is committed to ensuring that their welfare is not taken lightly.
Medical professionals in Nigeria are urgently calling for reforms amid growing insecurity, inadequate welfare, and an ongoing brain drain in the health sector. This comes in the wake of a 7-day warning strike by resident doctors following the abduction of their colleague, Dr. Ganiyat Kupola, along with her husband and nephew in December 2023. News Center's Adeshewa Udushoga reports.
Nigeria's healthcare system is in dire straits, and the professionals tasked with saving lives are raising the alarm. Doctors and nurses nationwide are decrying the deplorable state of healthcare, pointing to inadequate resources, crumbling infrastructure, and a lack of government support.
It's become almost like the response of most doctors now is just to take their bags and leave. Factors have continuously increased. The economy is not so flamboyant. Now there's insecurity. How much does a doctor really earn?
The statistics agree. Nigeria has one of the highest infant mortality rates globally, with over 250,000 children under the age of 5 dying each year. Maternal mortality rates are equally concerning, with more than 50,000 women dying in childbirth annually. Despite this, the government's response has been insufficient.
The government must be deliberate about what they are saying. Let's stop lip services in this country. We talk a lot. We've been saying this thing and I'm saying this since decades, since years ago, even when democracy started. But what have we done about it? Nothing. Doctors are maimed every day. Doctors are kidnapped. There's a doctor in Kaduna kidnapped. We've not seen her.
The brain drain is another pressing issue. Many of Nigeria's most skilled doctors and nurses are leaving the country in search of better working conditions and opportunities abroad. This exodus has left significant void in the healthcare system, forcing those who remain to bear an unsustainable workload.
The security situation is very bad.
In fact, nurses and doctors have now become a primary target for kidnappers. Look at our hospital settings. When you work in hospital, there is nothing the hospital settings is more or less like a glorified mortuary.
Despite these challenges, Nigeria's doctors and nurses remain dedicated to their patients and profession. They are speaking out, demanding change and advocating for a better healthcare system. As the calls for reform grow louder, one thing is clear: Nigeria's healthcare system is in crisis and change is long overdue. However, in recent development, Vice President Kashim Shettima announced that the federal government's reforms in healthcare sector have attracted over $4.8 billion in investment, signaling a strong commitment to revitalizing the healthcare system. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Adeshawa Odushoga.
Still ahead, 129 dead, many injured in DR Congo jailbreak attempt. That's after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with News Central. The news continues in Central Africa, where tragedy has struck in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where an attempted jailbreak from the overcrowded Makala prison in Kinshasa has left at least 129 people dead. Interior Minister Jacquemaine Shabani announced the provisional death toll, which includes 24 people shot by authorities after warnings. At least 59 others were wounded and are receiving medical care. The minister also reported that many people were crushed or suffocated and several women were raped. The circumstances surrounding the attempted jailbreak are unclear, but witnesses reported hearing gunfire on Monday morning. The situation remains volatile, with gunshots heard again in the area on Tuesday morning. An investigation is underway to determine the cause of the violence and identify those responsible. Let's now go over to our business team for today's business update.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has finalized an agreement with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited to sell crude oil to Dangote Refinery in local currency, the Naira. This is contained in a statement by NMDPRA on Tuesday in Abuja, following the commencement of petrol production by Dangote Refinery. This development is in line with the recent approval by the Federal Executive Council to sell crude oil to Dangote Refinery in Naira and as well purchase petrol products from the refinery in local currency. The refinery is now poised to supply an initial 25 million litres of PMS into the domestic market this September and will subsequently increase this amount to 30 million litres daily from October 2024, according to NMDPRA. The deposits of banks with the Central Bank of Nigeria hit a weekly high of 3.42 trillion naira at the end of last week. This followed the announcement of the operationalization of the Standing Deposit Facility Asymmetric Corridor to plus 500 over minus 100 basis points from plus 100 over minus 300 basis points around the monetary policy rates by the Central Bank of Nigeria within the week. The SDF rate applicable to deposits made by banks at the CBN was increased to 25.75%, while the standing lending facility was adjusted to 31.75%. At the last MPC meeting of the CBN, the committee members had voted to raise the MPR by 50 basis points to 26.75% from 26.25%,
adjust the asymmetric corridor around the MPR to plus 500 from plus 100 over minus 300 basis points, while retaining the cash reserve ratio of deposit money banks at 45% and merchant banks at 14%, while retaining the liquidity ratio at 30%. The South African economy grew by 0.4% in the second quarter. The growth rate was slightly weaker than economists expected. According to polls by Reuters and Bloomberg, their median estimate was 0.5%, after previously reporting that real gross domestic products contracted by 0.1% in the first quarter of 2024. Statistics SA revised this number to 0.0%, which means no growth. The finance, manufacturing, trade, electricity, gas, and water supply industries drove most of the economy's momentum in the second quarter, as reported by Statistics SA. The quarter was entirely without load shedding, which has now been suspended for more than 150 days. As a result, the electricity, gas, and water supply industry grew by 3.1% over the quarter, the sharpest increase since 2008. And that's all on business news. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Let's join our sports desk for the latest updates.
Sports update brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Super Eagles caretaker coach Augustin Eguavon is optimistic the team will get maximum points from the upcoming 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying games against Benin Republic and Rwanda. The Super Eagles have won one of their last 5 matches. Eguavon, however, believes the Super Eagles have the quality to beat their next 2 opponents.
Nigeria is a nation in terms of football that a lot of countries respect. And there's no difference in this one. I'm very, very confident that we will scale through these 2 games and beyond. We have the materials, we have the players, we have the personnel, we have the support, we have everything, you know. And the only thing we have to remind these players about is that they were almost African champions months ago. It's not even a year yet. So what went wrong? So it's still them. We will do everything that we have to do as technical crew, and of course the federation and Nigerians to rally around them. They are the ones to turn the table around. It's not bad. I've spoken to them. We're still going to have a series of meetings, or few meetings before the game proper. I'm very, very confident they will come out there and do the nation proud. But we will treat Benin with more respect, and no doubt about that, because football is, if you disrespect people, you have a problem. We'll play them with big respect, but hey, this is our home.
Meanwhile, Benjamin Tanimu has been handed the late invitation for the Super Eagles 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. Tanimu will take the place of injured Fenerbahce defender Bright Oshai Samuel in the squad. Oshai Samuel, who was part of the Super Eagles squad to the AFCON 2023 finals in Côte d'Ivoire, pulled out of the squad due to injury. The 22-year-old, who has already arrived at the Super Eagles base in Uyo, joined English League One club Crawley Town from Tanzania outfit Singida Black Stars last week Friday. The Executive Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation has approved the recommendation of its Technical and Development Subcommittee for the appointment of Aliyu Zubairu as head coach of the country's under-20 side, the Flying Eagles. The appointment of Zubairu, who led El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri to win the President's Federation Cup at the expense of Abia Warriors FC in Lagos in June, takes immediate effect. He also masterminded the Maiduguri club's promotion to the Nigeria Premier Football League. Zubairu's immediate task is to put together and prepare a team for the WAFU B Under-20 Championship set to take place in Togo between October and November. In tennis, Emma Navarro reached her first Grand Slam semi-final at the US Open on Tuesday with a straight sets victory over Paula Badosa, whose challenge dramatically collapsed. The 13th-ranked American, who knocked out defending champion Coco Gauff in the 4th round, triumphed 6-2, 7-5 after trailing 5-1 in the second set. She will face either second-ranked Aryna Sabalenka or Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen for a place in the final. And that's a wrap on Sport Updates. I am Udoka and Joku.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Up next is entertainment.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Tonight on Entertainment News, Enugu State Governor Peter Mba has honored High Life star Mike Gentleman Ejiaga by renaming a major road after him. This tribute followed a visit to Ejiaga's residence, where the legendary artist, known for hits in 1983, expressed his gratitude. Ejiaga's music has seen a resurgence in popularity due to Brain Jotter's viral dance trend, which features his song Gwogwongwongwo. Governor Mba, who shared touching moments from the visit online, announced that the Obianuju Road in Agbapanike, Enugu has been renovated and renamed in Ejiaga's honor. The governor emphasized that this gesture not only celebrates the folk music legend, but also benefits the people of Enugu State. A private investigator is actively pursuing rapper The Game to ensure he pays a $7 million debt owed to Priscilla Renee, who accused him of sexual assault. Renee enlisted P.I. Robert Cedillo Jr., who informed a California court that he served The Game with multiple legal documents, including a notice for a potential sale of his house to help satisfy the debt. This follows a 2016 judgment in favor of Renee, who sued The Game in 2015, accusing him of sexually assaulting her during the filming of his VH1 reality show She Got Game. Renee claimed that during a date in Chicago, The Game became intoxicated and inappropriately touched her. Despite The Game's public denial of the allegations, stating he never touched her, he may now be forced to sell his house to settle the debt. A court hearing is scheduled for October 7 to determine the next steps. That's all on Entertainment News.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Moving away from entertainment, let's take a look at what's trending as the hashtag Dangote Refinery is trending because it has begun selling petrol to the public, with NNPC as the exclusive buyer, raising concerns about a potential monopoly. The refinery, owned by Aliko Dangote, is set to produce 650,000 barrels per day, but operations were delayed due to insufficient crude oil supply from NNPC. An agreement was also reached for NNPC to supply crude in Naira, and the refinery will start supplying 25 million liters of fuel this month and 30 million liters next month. The exclusive deal between Dangote Refinery and NNPC has sparked debates on social media. Let's take a look at some tweets. At Wisdom Joseph A., many Nigerians accused Dangote of monopoly. Is he the only one? But business is for those who dare to dream. If it easy, let them build their own refinery. Nothing wrong if Nigeria have 2 to 3 working refineries owned by different people, but it's only Dangote that dare to dream. At Victor Richmond, nice move, Mr. Dangote. They didn't see you coming. The greatest strategic survival mode. At Abaton Babatund 1, just can't still get it. How could it be a coincidence? NNPCL increased fuel price the same day Dangote rolls out its products? At Chalokbish, wow, this is a tribute of time. Dangote is indeed a ray of sunshine amidst. History will be kind to you for generations. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's all on What's Trending.
And that's all we have for you tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Terrorists have killed dozens in Yobe State as government buries 34 in Tarmua. Crisis is brewing between PDP's Governors Forum and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike as party's National Working Committee meets on Wednesday. Federal government has denied ordering hike in price of petrol. We also brought you news that 129 people have died. Many have been injured in DR Congo jailbreak attempt. Do send your eyewitness reports to the numbers showing now on your screen. You can follow us on social media to keep updated, and of course you can send information at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and on YouTube. Many thanks as always for watching. Have a good night.